The Wonder, out on Netflix, new film from director Sebastian Lelio, who previously made A Fantastic Woman and Disobedience, both of which I really enjoyed. This one is based on a novel written by Emma Donoghue, who also wrote Room, another book which was the basis for another good film. And this film stars Florence Pugh, Tom Burke, Keela Lord Cassidy, Niamh Algar, Toby Jones, and Ciaran Hinds. The story takes place in 1862 and follows an English nurse named Elizabeth, played by Florence Pugh, who is called over to Ireland to watch a patient and submit her observations. The patient in question is an 11-year-old girl named Anna, who has been fasting for 4 months now, for religious reasons. The local community believes that she's been somehow chosen by Jesus, and that's why she's been able to survive without food. She's been getting many pilgrim visitors as well. And a committee of local men decide that they want to establish a watch for a period of 2 weeks. The nurse will work shifts with a nun, observing the girl and on the one hand monitoring her health, on the other trying to establish whether she really is fasting or someone is secretly giving her food. And so Elizabeth, who is a very cold and rational person, will be faced to confront the strangeness of the local people's faith in trying to decipher the truth of the matter. So the film looks like a period drama, but I think the most accurate way to actually describe it is as a horror film, because you have a protagonist who has to fight an overwhelming force that wants to do a great evil, and she's very alone in all of this. But what's interesting is that this evil force here is not a vampire or a demon or a serial killer. It's faith. It's the blind, thoughtless faith, the insistence to try and explain and justify every action and inaction by the tenets of Catholic faith. And also it's about how those religious tenets, rules and beliefs are not only used to absolve terrible things, but to not even attempt to resolve those problems in the first place, but rather to sweep them under the rug. I think it's brilliant in how it shows us, through the character of Anna especially, how religion can completely fuck up an innocent person's mind and make them believe things that not only are unreasonable, but downright unfair and hurtful, even to them physically, and how it can also galvanize an entire community in this sort of wrong approach. One of the ways that the movie frames this is how people need to tell themselves stories, that everything we experience is sort of told and explained and framed by a story that we tell ourselves or someone tells us. And I think that one of the themes is the warning against the dangers of such storytelling, of being so caught up in one's story that you begin to lose touch with reality. The performances are spectacular. Florence Pugh just shines bright as always. Everything I've seen her in, she's been fantastic, and this is no exception. I was also impressed by Keela Lord Cassidy, who plays Anna. For such a young girl, she's doing a tremendous job. The cinematography is quite interesting in the way it accentuates the sort of rough Irish landscapes and poor housing conditions. It often does make it feel like the story is happening somewhere at the end of the world, in some personal purgatory. The music is very interesting, with sort of postmodern, whispery, ethereal sounds, which would really fit a horror movie more than any drama. The one thing I'm not so convinced about is the fourth wall breaks. There are 3 of them in the film, one each at the beginning and at the end, but there's also one in the movie itself in the first half, and I think I know why they're there. It has to do with these themes of storytelling, like I mentioned, but I felt that those themes are pretty apparent even without directly pointing them out to the audience in this way. And so at the end of the day, I think maybe this was a sign of just not having enough faith and trust in your audience, that the director felt like putting those scenes in anyway. I would have cut them. I don't think they really served the story that well. I think the movie worked better without them, but even so, The Wonder was still a very good film to watch. Uncomfortable and tense, yes, but great.